Title: My wife said, "Just one free pass to sleep with my ex, then I'll be ready to settle down." I didn't yell, didn't argue. Start: She said it like it was nothing, casual, almost like she was offering a trade. "Just one free pass," she whispered, leaning against the doorway, the faintest smirk playing at her lips. I didn't move, didn't speak. I only nodded, like I understood her completely, like I already knew she'd been planning this for months. I smiled, packed her suitcase, dropped her at his door, watched her walk in without looking back. I didn't yell, didn't argue. The world still hummed around me while my mind started weaving. Every betrayal leaves a scent, and I knew how to track it. We'd been together for 12 years, married for 8. I remembered the small things, how she laughed at my terrible jokes, how we danced alone in the kitchen at midnight, how she whispered my name like it belonged only to me. I loved her fiercely, blindly, and that's why it cut so deep. The first time I suspected something, it was subtle. The quiet phone calls she suddenly guarded, a lingering smile after a text, the way she avoided eye contact when I mentioned his name. But love makes you blind. I ignored it. Until the day I saw it. The messages, the photos, the dates carved into her calendar that didn't include me. My chest tightened, but my face stayed calm. I didn't scream, I didn't confront. I watched. I waited. I planned. I started slow. Surveillance. Quietly, methodically. I learned his schedule, her patterns, the way their little apartment smelled of her perfume. I took screenshots, recorded conversations when I knew she'd brag, memorized details she thought were invisible. My world had narrowed to one thing: precision. Then came the financial groundwork. A few discreet calls to lawyers, bank transfers, setting up accounts she didn't know existed. Everything laid bare but invisible, like a trapdoor she wouldn't suspect until it opened. I smiled at the irony. She wanted freedom, indulgence, a thrill, and I gave her exactly what she wished for. But I made sure it came at a price. I watched them from a distance the first time she visited him. She laughed in a way I'd never hear again, leaned on her like I was a memory. I texted her a single line: "Have fun." Nothing more. No anger, just a calm acknowledgement of what she thought she'd won. Back home, I moved silently. I rewired, reset, and redirected. I knew she'd return, and when she did, she'd find more than just an empty apartment. The day came. I opened the door to the faint smell of her perfume lingering in the hallway. Her eyes widened, not with guilt, not with regret, but with the slightest flicker of confusion. "Why are you?" she began. I held up a single envelope, thick, heavy, intimidating. Her name on it. Inside, the deed to the house, signed over, her car keys, all our joint accounts emptied and redirected to her new freedom fund. Every tangible tie to me severed. Her smirk faltered. "This isn't funny," she said, voice trembling, but I didn't laugh. I didn't need to. I walked her through each step I'd taken while she was out living her fantasy. Every contract, every transfer, every silent preparation. Her world, her carefully curated little world where she thought she controlled everything, crumbled under my gaze. I let her see it all, let the realization dawn, let it burn. Then I handed her the final piece. A photo album, untouched, of everything we'd shared. Birthdays, vacations, lazy Sundays, the moments she had promised would last forever. Every photo annotated with dates she had been with him. I watched her tremble, watched her realize that while she sought thrill, I had built an empire, and in it there was no place for betrayal. She tried to yell, to argue, but I had rehearsed this silence. Every scream bounced off the walls. She had wanted chaos. I gave her consequence. She had wanted freedom. I gave her responsibility. I closed the door behind her. No slamming, no drama, just silence. And in that silence, I felt it, the calm aftermath of storms I had orchestrated. She had walked into the trap she never saw coming. She thought she was clever. I was smarter. I walked through our empty apartment. Every detail meticulously arranged, a note in her handwriting for a moving company, a confirmation of her new lease, everything she needed to vanish from my life. I paused in the living room, the place where she had once whispered, "Forever." Forever had ended, but it ended on my terms. Not with rage, not with tears, not with begging. I had survived the betrayal, planned it silently, and executed it flawlessly. She had been the storm. I was the calm that outlasted it. I poured a glass of wine, sank into the couch, and let the city lights bleed into the room. Justice doesn't need fireworks. It just needs precision. I smiled. For the first time in months, I felt untouchable. She had wanted a free pass. I gave her freedom. I had wanted closure. I got power.